This is new research concerning human chromosomes. Will men vanish if the Y chromosome shrinks into oblivion? Now we know that we have here an image of the female and male human chromosomes. The XX of the female chromosome, the XY of the male chromosome. You see the Y is much smaller than the X. That's what gives the difference in sexes. Now, while the Y chromosome apparently has many genes as the Y chromosome about 166 million years ago, it has since shrunk drastically, and it may possibly be on its way to disappearing altogether. The prospects of impending demise of a particular chromosome that determines whether a person is born male or female leaves some people wondering whether it might mean the demise of men. This is concerning what Live Science describes it as. As the media outlet says, a person's sex is essentially determined by a combination of two chromosomes, the X and the Y. The XX combination leading to the development of ovaries in the female, and the XY combination resulting in the development of testes in the male. But while the X chromosome has around 1,000 genes, the Y chromosome has only 45 genes. And research suggests that the latter has actually shrunk over time, concerning what Live Science says. Jennifer Graves, the geneticist at La Trobe University in Melbourne, suggests that the Y chromosome has 1,669 genes, some 166 million years ago, the same as the X chromosome. She says, so it does not take a great brain to realize that if the rate of loss is uniform, that's 10 genes per million years, and we've only got 45 genes left, the Y will disappear in 4.5 million years. That's amazing. Can you imagine? The Y chromosome had 1,669 genes 166 million years ago, and now it only has 45. So can you imagine what were the men like millions of years ago that had 1,669 genes as opposed to 45 that they only have now? The Y chromosome shrinking apparently affected by the fact that while chromosome can avoid passing harmful mutations which genes develop over time by recombining with another, the Y chromosome cannot do that due to the lack of swapping companion, quote unquote, unlike the X chromosome. If a bad mutation occurs, usually you'd be able to swap with your partner, but the Y cannot do that, said Melissa Wilson. She's evolutionary biologist at Arizona State University. Graves also noted that the loss of Y chromosome has actually occurred in some species, such as 2 species of mole voles and 3 endangered species of spiny rats. Live Science says that even with the loss of Y chromosome, said species will have males and females, so such development does not doom the survival. Losing the Y chromosome does not mean losing the male, said Rasmus Nielsen, a geneticist at the University of California in Berkeley. While Graves noted that another gene would likely take the job of being the main determinant of sex, and as Wilson remarked, while such change is possible, it will not be happening in our lifetime, but a lot later on. This is by Andrei Dergalin on Sputnik News, and I'll leave a link below for you for the conversation. The article by Jenny Graves, professor of genetics at La Trobe University. The Y chromosome, that little chain of genes determining the sex of humans, is not as tough as you might think. In fact, when we look at the Y chromosome over the course of our evolution, we're seeing it shrinking at an alarming rate. Sex in other vertebrates. Leave humans for a moment and you'll see a huge variety of sex systems. Fish, reptiles, frogs, XX and XY, a male like humans but have different sex genes. And the degrading human Y chromosome, what befell the Y to make it so much smaller than the X and lose most of its genes? Our sex chromosomes was just a pair of ordinary chromosomes, which are still are in birds and reptiles. We found that there are still ordinary chromosomes even in monotreme mammals, that's the platypus and the echinids. This means that within the past 166 million years, the human Y lost most of its 1,600 odd genes at a rate of 10 per million years. Has the human Y stabilized? Of course, the loss of the genes from the Y is unlikely to be linear. It could get faster as the Y becomes more unstable, or it could stabilize as the Y is stripped to essential genes. The world without men? If the human Y disappears, will men disappear? Or if they do, will it be the end of the human race? We can't become a female-only species, as have some lizards, such as a New Mexican whiptail, because they are at least 30 imprinted genes on that activity only if they come through the sperm. So we cannot reproduce without men. So does that mean humans will become extinct in 4.5 million years? Not necessarily. The Y-less rodents have evolved a new sex-determining gene, so why not humans? Now, a group of humans with new sex-determining genes won't easily breed with humans who retain the present XY system. Children of, say, XX women and a man with a novel sex gene are likely to be intersex or at least infertile. Such a reproductive barrier can drive incipient species apart. Has happened with Y-less rodents. So if we return to Earth in 4.5 million years from now, we might find either no humans or several different hominid species. In any case, 4.5 million years is a long time. We have been humans for less than 100,000 years, and I can think of several ways in which we are likely to become extinct long before we run out of Y chromosome. This is what this scientist Jenny Graves says. So if we come back in millions of years from now, we may have a different hominid species. That's amazing, and I'll leave a link below for you for this article on the conversation. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.